Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Signs, and Crosswatchers. Welcome to your Timeless Chakra Read. I am your reader. Mars conjunct Leo rising, Mark Angelo Lyons, MAL for short, they're my initials, professional witch, professional intuitive president of Drawing the Circle Production since 1998, 24.5 years in service at the time of this timeless recording. I am the author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, available on Kindle. There is a link in the description box if you would like to preview it for free and see some of what I learned along the journey. I love that book so much, so have at it if you like. And I'm a creator on Patreon, patreon.com/drawingthecircle. Actually, 1 year on Patreon, digging it so much. A wonderful members-only subscription platform where you can set your own levels of subscribers, give them different benefits. Loving it a lot. Really great for creative types like myself. I am a mystical artist, but there are all sorts of creative people over there, and I love it very much. All of my subscribers get to see me every morning with an unlisted YouTube live stream link, so they can chat with me while I'm sitting in my bathrobe, doing it from the laptop over on the couch with a cup of coffee, talking about the astrological weather of the day, the magical implications, the magical applications, the spiritual implications, digging it so much. Always ending a little prayer, a little blessing to send us on our way. It's my favorite way to start the day. And all of my subscribers also get all the extended readings. Part 1 on YouTube. There's a part 2 on Vimeo On Demand. And by all means, Vimeo On Demand as much as you like. I love Vimeo On Demand. But all of my subscribers, regardless of subscription level, have access to all of them, past, present, and future, as well as a lot of other cool stuff, recorded Zoom events there that are exclusive, that they get to take part in, advanced stuff that everybody else will see on YouTube and elsewhere later. They get to see it usually a week before. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite things in the whole world. So if you are interested, want a little bit more magic, miracles, mysticism, and mal in your life, come Patreon on Patreon. I'm the Archangel Lyons. Mark Angelo Lyons. So you could just call me Mal, because I'm not allowed to lie. I'm really not. I'm really not. It's just my contract in this life. It never goes well, but when does lying ever really? That being said, let's get down to business. This is only 11 cards. You'd think 11 cards. These would be relatively quick readings. No, they're running about 40 to 45 minutes because this is a chakra read, a timeless chakra read, so whenever you're watching it, may it be a blessing for the Leo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and their cross-watchers. Because cross-watchers, if you apply what you learn here, what you gather here in this reading, you'll have more understanding and empathy for the Leo you are cross-watching for. But if you apply this stuff to your own energy field, you will come into alignment little by little by little and help the Leo you are cross-watching for, as well as the whole Leo collective. That's what happens when you work on an energetic level, a chakric level, blah, blah, blah. There's a link in the section in the description box, by the way. Videos related to these types of readings, one of which is a lovely talk by Carolyn Myss, M-Y-S-S. She's a PhD. These are her archetype cards we're going to start off with. And there's quite a bit in there. Anatomy of the Spirit, the book that I relearned chakras with. It was a really great book. Sacred Contracts and all that stuff. It's all sort of included in here. So if you want to go deeper, you can certainly go do some a deeper dive there. But for 11 cards, I'm going to do my best to get you in a timeless reading the information, inspiration, insight that you need to help bring yourself or cross-watchers help each other come into alignment and be the best that we can be. Heal, grow, learn, evolve, become, awaken, whatever you want to call your healing journey. That's what these readings are for. So it is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs, because your sun sign could be very connected to the solar plexus, your moon, the heart chakra, who knows. We'll see what happens. But we've got some tarot on the table, and we've got some oracle cards and some healing systems, and I've got a little Taurus kitty cat head bonking my ankle. Come on up, buddy. It's a Leo read. I shouldn't be shocked that my 3 black cat boys get all sorts of cats in and say, "Where are you? Where did you go, you little Taurus?" I don't know where he went. I will turn this reading around if I have to, Mama Lion that I can be. But let's see what hits the table. Both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will, and I will try not to be distracted by my cats overly, and get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I incarnated to give in this life, right? To help make this world a better place, because the more in alignment one of us are, everybody moves a little bit into alignment too. And may we no longer delay. There he is. Oh, he jumped up and jumped back down. I didn't even see him. Black cat on a black chair. Go lay down, lay down. I will pause this reading. Go lay down, lay down. That's Mama Roar. That's not a roar. He's like, all right. He's a Taurus. Tricky. So both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will, and let's do this. Please take a nice deep breath. You said with a question mark. Here we go. From explanation to divination, shifts at the still point. And here they come. All right, using the Caroline Myss archetype cards, I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for the Leo collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers watching this video, receiving this reading. Just need one. The dominant archetype in the 8th chakra, hovering over the head of the Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and or cross watchers watching this video, receiving this reading. The archetype that will determine the codes, the lessons, the alchemy, the healing process in every chakra, what they attract and what they repel, so they no longer delay what cannot be prevented, though that is their free will, in this timeless chakra read. You got the witch! This card did not come with the deck. It is a blank card that you can draw on. I did. So I'm a witch. I could talk about it, but you need not necessarily be or identify as a witch for this to be true. Now, this is, there are many archetypes close to this. The shaman. I don't use the word shaman because of it's a cultural misappropriation, I think is the word. I forget which, I think they're both bad, but whatever. Right, I don't do that. I'm not a shaman. I live on Long Island, and it's fine. There are shamans on Long Island, but, you know, location, who trained you, where do you come from, right? Long story, not going there. No, I'm a witch. People don't claim the word witch unless they really are, and a lot of witches like me, because I'm the fun one. So, you know, on the card, on every other card in this deck that's not a blank one, that you can, she gives them, because there are too many archetypes that, I mean, if they made a deck with every archetype that's ever been, you'd need a cement mixer, just to pull the card, right? It's a lot. Like juggling an entire library. On each card is written the shadow attribute and the light attribute. The shadow is the lead, the toxic, the unhealthy, the pain, the toxicity. The light is the gold, the light, the truth, the healing, the health. So we know what the good witch and the bad witch is, but we also know things are not as always as they appear. Thank you very much, Frank L. Baum, with the Wizard of Oz, and of course Gregory Maguire for giving us a little course correction on that. That Glinda wasn't all that good, and Elphaba was hardly bad. We all make mistakes growing up. So that aside, Oz aside, a witch is a wise person. It's like a job title. It is certainly an archetype. And we know what that is in the shadow and in the light. It's someone who uses their power, their wisdom that they learn from experience in the life to wound, to harm. Now, harm none, be the whole of the law, according to Wiccans. But, you know, everybody else on the spectrum, I just try and harm none out of self-preservation because there's only one of us incarnate. I'm a mystic. Cope, right? So we know what that is. That's using your power, your wisdom, all that you've learned to a more negative tendency to do woe rather than weal, W-E-A-L. Look that one up. It's a good one. Harm rather than heal. The light attribute is just simply using your wisdom that you have learned to serve others and yourself. I was never into that thing about no personal gain on charm. I'm like, who told you that? Who told you that? Where's that written? No, witches were, again, I'm careful using this word, but it's a decent word, the medicine person or the shaman of their tribe. You never really had a tribe of witches. You might have had a coven, but they all lived in different places and gathered together, right? That was before things went bad on the planet about that, but it's gender neutral though. You got to know that. Warlock means oath breaker, and a lot of people disagree with that, but linguistically I found it to be true, so I'm a witch. Thank you very much. And it's all a scale of shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace. Where are you on that lead to gold? How are you using the wisdom that you've gained through this lifetime so far? So we're off to the races. That's our first card down, but the rest of these next chakra cards that hit, we will do face down because they come out quicker, and it's just more fun of a ride if you ask me. So we're jumping off with the witch. 8th chakra, we're looking at the next 4 chakras down: the crown, the third eye, the throat, the heart, spiritual, mental, willpower, and emotional power. Let's see what hits the table. Please take a nice deep breath. Remember, you're going face down. But once we get all of the chakras laid out, we'll read them from the ground up. Still point. As I call upon my goddesses of fire, sign of Leo, powers of the south, please, beloved ones of fixed fire, 1 card in clarity each. Crown, third eye, throat, and heart for the Libra collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers watching this video, receiving this reading. Their spiritual power in the crown, their mental power in the third eye, their willpower, choices, decisions, very element of fire for a fire sign, usually in the third chakra, and emotional power in the heart. Told you it goes a lot faster than doing them one at a time and reading them. Breathe. Lower 3 chakras. Still point. As I call upon my gods of fire, the sign of Leo, powers of the south, please, 3 cards in clarity for the lower 3 chakra dynamic for the Leo collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers. Lower 3 chakras, masculine energy. We got the internal here, we got the external, the feminine, the masculine. But this can be them from the outside looking in at themselves, from the inside looking out at people, places, and things, because lower 3 chakras are about relationships in the physical world. So what's going on in the solar plexus can be very Leo dominant. Personal power, boundaries, their own intuition, their honor code, what they will, what they don't, what they do, what they don't, their own gut feelings that no one else usually understands because they're yours to process individually, ours to process individually. So what's going on in the solar plexus? 2nd chakra. Money, sex, power. Now, if that was one, I would have taken it. One-on-one relationships, like umbilical to umbilical, navel to navel. Lovers, friends, individual family members, root chakra, tribes, groups, circles of friends, the company they work for, of course their family, but also their ancestral lineage, and also being human. 3 or more where they're involved, it is a tribe. But what's going on there for this timeless chakra read? Where did you go? Where did you go? Did I shuffle you back? Your solar plexus card sort of disappeared. Did it slide off the table? I guess they want you to get another one. That was weird. I gotta go watch that back. Did I jump a timeline? What do you got for the Leos in their solar plexus? And we will take note that this one did a chicky somehow while my eyes were closed in this timeless chakra read. Oh yeah, no wonder. All right, we'll get there. Let's start up here. Remember, you got the witch up here, so no matter what goes on down here, the lesson is how to alchemize what you're learning from lead to gold, from leaded experience into golden wisdom, and then serve. Excellent in the 8th chakra, crown chakra. You've got the 2 of Pentacles. So if you think about double sides of the brain, left brain, right brain, you might be going through some brain balancing here. And with spiritual power, that makes sense. There is a lot of juggling when you don't know. 2s are always about choices, in my experience as a reader. So you might be juggling a couple of different pieces of wisdom, because sometimes, and I could do this as a witch, but don't take it too literally, well, I could bless him or curse him. Now, the funny thing is about that is that the crown chakra does not have thoughts. That all happens in the third eye, the intellectual part of it, the mental part. So there may be a real spiritual choice here for you. 2 of Pentacles isn't usually a life-changing decision, but it is a small choice. But you know, sometimes we think it's a choice and it changes our lives, and sometimes we think it's a decision and it really doesn't shift anything great, big, huge, right? The difference between buying a cup of coffee and quitting everything and going to grow your own beans, right? There's the difference between a choice and a decision. So let's keep going. I mean, for a witch, I would say having a balanced wisdom the crown chakra is a good thing. The sacred truth of the crown chakra, according to Myss and Anatomy of the Spirit, is live in present time, which is certainly necessary for balance. But what's going on in the mind? Aha. The coyote. Coyote woman, half of the devil card in the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, this round feminist deck. They don't use patriarchal imagery at all. So they take the devil card and they split it into the card of oppression and the card of the coyote. It's about shadow work usually, the fears that bind you. But I have learned the hard way that a lot of what we're afraid about is not really about the present moment. We're being triggered by the present moment for unhealed stuff in the past. Now, there is certainly an intellectual third eye approach to shadow work. It's called psychotherapy, folks, or in all sorts of variations. Psychotherapy is a bit strong of a word, right? Counseling, analysis. But certainly there is the straight up face your shadow, right? There's a wonderful movie that you can find. It's a documentary called The Shadow Effect. The Shadow Effect is the name of the movie, featuring Debbie Ford, no longer on the planet, unfortunately, a true gift she was to the world. She wrote a book called something about the light chasers, right? People who chase light instead of deal with the shadow. So there might be some of that going on in the third eye. There may be some fears here that really are more about the past and the future, because you can't see your shadow when you're facing the light, and yet what are you leaving behind that has not been dealt with, mentally speaking? And certainly then trying to find that balance in the crown chakra with coyote going on in the third eye would make sense. That sounds like a wise thing. However, the key word here is the trickster. Coyote medicine, coyote gods tend to be tricksters, right? And every pantheon has a trickster. Loki, Hermes, those are mine that I work with on the whole. But certainly, however that translates into your life, does this mean you're being tricked or being tricky? If so, then know that there is a rather strong modicum of lead there, but the alchemy of the witch is to really the alchemy, spiritual alchemy in general, is to do the shift, to get rid of those 3 atoms. I can't believe I forgot to say this. Lead has 3 more atoms than gold on the periodic table. So there can be misinformation. There can be fears that we are seeing through a lens darkly. There, the witch just gave you New Testament. Are you thrilled? But that's why we're going to use the Whispers of Lord Ganesh, the remover of obstacles, the elephant-headed god of the Hindus, prosperity and abundance and success, but mostly known here in the West as remover of obstacles, to remove those 3 atoms. So the mind may not be all of that much comfort unless you're really willing to get that the thoughts are things. I am not my thoughts. I am the witnesser of the thoughts. I get to choose what my thoughts are. And let's look at that third chakra, willpower, choices and decisions. Lovely. 6 of Cups. Compassion in the throat chakra means that you are in a balanced enough place to communicate, listen, and hear emotionally and compassionately, and to make more loving, wise, heartfelt, heart-centered, element of water, harmonious choices. Compassion is a pendulum swing. We have to learn how to go back and forth between selfless compassion, what the world applauds, although, oh, you're so selfless, oh, you're so compassionate, which is great. I mean, Gandhi, wherever you want to dip your toe in that one, there have always been people on the planet who do that. But then if you just stay on that side of the pendulum, right, because this is choice, right, spit, swallow, or chew, you end up resentful because you're not giving that compassion to yourself. So you go from selfless to selfish compassion, right? Self-care, self-love, inner work. Shadow work is definitely a self-compassionate gig. But if you stay there too much, you end up isolated, cut off from the world, even though you're helping to heal stuff, maybe for a reason, a season, but I doubt your whole lifetime. And that ends up being narcissistic if it's not dealt with. So you want to swing back and forth, right? Like, fill your cup and then pour it out, and fill the cup and pour it out until that compassion comes to a place where you fill your cup so much that you just give of the overflow. So there are choices of compassion here for you. So, you know, but they're emotional. They're emotional, and if you're really not seeing things clearly, which the trickster in the third eye would indicate, then that can be certainly problematic. but to be compassionate with yourself. Know that you don't know, but be willing to be shown. And Leos don't like, I'm a Leo rising, I know. Mars can joke too, I don't screw around. That way at least. But I've learned the grace of humility. It's the first grace and the last grace I write about in my book, Words of Grace. Grant me the grace of humility to know that I do not know, but I'm willing to be shown. Because we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen next. When people say tomorrow's not promised to anybody, I'm like, honey, in the world we're in 10 seconds from now ain't guaranteed to anybody. So we don't know what's going to happen. And, what's the point of, it's an odd word, faith, but trust and hope and creating reality if you know exactly how it's going to happen and when has it ever really. Yeah. Does anybody else hear that beeping? Thank you. Sometimes a little sarcastic. That's a new word, sarcastic. Welcome to the birth of the word. Sarcastic kiss. Loving this in the heart chakra. You got the learner. Good old 8 of Pentacles. I love it. In your heart chakra, you are learning things, but it's 8. It's solid. It's putting your head down. I would say this is a shadow work reading, but emotionally based. In other words, if you can get, I'm in a place of really, really healing emotionally here, but Pentacles, the element of earth on the inner, isn't about physical things. They're about the wisdom that you gained from the journey, right? That can't be taken from you, right? Like no one can take the wisdom of, I don't know, what your favorite flavor of anything is. That's your journey. And people can love it or hate it, but that's your wisdom, right? So in terms of the heart, what you love, how you love, why you love is in there, but there might be a real workaround here getting that. Love is who you are at the core, covered up by ancestral patterns and psychological this and that and stuff from school and past lives and all that. None of that is the truth of who we are. But there is certainly work being done here with wise choices, but the mind does not have to see it so very clearly, but understand there's some fear, there's some leaded glass there in the lens, that your spirit, your spiritual power has the balance to find what? That still point. This is the bull leapers, 2 of Pentacles. Women, they used to run towards bulls in a ring, not just like out in the pasture, grab them by the horns and flip over them as a form of sport and entertainment, sort of like Amazons, and might be the forerunner to the running of the bulls, but I doubt that. Somebody told me that. I don't know if that's absolutely true. So, good. I mean, even if you look at this as brain balancing, coming into the still point of the center, I forget what that's called. I always want to call it the Colosseum, something or other. Names, darling. But I like this. It's got a challenge in it for sure, but healing does, right? Alignment does, because this is what we're headed for. Solar plexus. If this is you from the outside looking in, your sense of personal power and boundaries has just been struck by lightning. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. We need our boundaries dissolved and reset, because don't talk to strangers is brilliant for a 4-year-old and a nightmare for a 44-year-old. Yeah, we could do some stuff on apps, but sooner or later you should talk to people you don't know. Right? We have intuition. We can feel that out. This is Poseidon, the earth shaker. Yes, god of the oceans, but the god of earthquakes as well, and tsunamis and all that stuff. With his brother Zeus sending the lightning down to hit the tower. It's nice to see brothers work together. So that is, if that's from the outside looking in, something is going on in your life that is really challenging and shifting, taking you down to your foundation in terms of what your boundaries are, what your honor code is. And look, I know a lot of witches who think in the beginning, right? They get a spell kit, you know, they get their fire, earth, air, and water together, and they start swooping around the mall and liquid black mist, you know, eyeliner, you know, hexing people. It's like, good luck with that. Good luck with that. You're only hurting yourself, darling. It's you never know the pain that people are in and why they do the things that they do if they don't even know, right? So that more compassionate choice there. certainly could be that. I mean, I'm literally covering my solar plexus right now, Virgo crossing my arms, that I am Virgo sun. So my sense is that your sense of power may be personally shook. On a more positive take, it might be a bit of enlightenment, right? Something that was standing in the way of you having a solid foundation about what you really, who you want to be, right? Your self-image as a noun, but your self-esteem as a verb. But this could absolutely be a gut punch, and these next two cards might indicate that a bit more. Second chakra, Seven of Swords. Not the first time I've seen the Seven of Swords in readings like this in the second chakra. So this either means you're being stealth and secretive or sneaky, stealthy, sneaky, or being surreptitious, right? Sneaky snake, you sneaky snake. Seven of Swords. Or you could be dealing with somebody who's doing that. However, there is no tarot cards that are wholly positive or wholly negative. Even the Sun card can burn you out, too much of it. But the Seven of Swords can also very much be about boundaries, mental boundaries, particularly about what you say, what you communicate for self-preservation. So if your personal power has been struck by lightning or is, one would think, soon to be, know that that's taking things personally as well. Don Miguel Ruiz, please pick up the Four Agreements telephone. But there might be some sneaky going on with somebody in your life here, and the revelation of that truth in the solar plexus might take you down a notch, but that's okay, only to repair and reinforce the foundation and build again. And after the Tower card comes the Star, Hope, which is not on the table. But you know what is? In terms of your tribes, you got the Hanged Man. So you've got three major arcana cards, and they are tricky ones. You've got half of the devil, if you want to look at it that way, the trickster. You got the Tower, and you got the Hanged Man. But to me, of the three, I'll take the Hanged Man. It is voluntary sacrifice. Now, not so much in this picture. This is Prometheus bound in Tartarus, stole fire from the gods to give to man, and they didn't like it, so they changed. They were his uncle. He was their uncle. That's what I meant to say. Read Circe by Madeline Miller. You'll get the inside tea on that one. I love her. She's an amazing author. Her point of view makes more sense than a lot of what I've read in fiction. But, you know, his liver picked out every day by a vulture or an eagle. It depends on who you read, right? Oh, Homer, Doe. The Hanged Man, this may absolutely be going into the still point. This might very well be shutting down from the outside world temporarily to go up and in to the internal world to make more compassionate, wise choices for yourself. But if you are of the runic, Norse, Celtic kind of sort of thing, of course, Odin, hanging upside down from the world tree, Yggdrasil, plucked out his eyes for all bunch of cash and prizes, including the runes. Can you imagine? You know, the Norns, they'll make a hard deal, but they live up to it. So there may be a sacrifice going on here, or at least a sacrifice of a point of view, particularly because the third eye, which holds the point of view, one would think, may not be seeing so clearly, or may be seeing through a place of fear, or the past coloring the present, obscuring the future, which is the human condition, by the way. Really helpful. You hear something snap in the woods behind you, something tells you, instinct will tell you in the moment, but if you've been attacked in the woods by an animal, or I don't know, what have you, a hide, oh my god, Wednesday on Netflix, are you kidding me? Then, you know, if that's your previous experience, you immediately go into fear, and then you find out, I don't know, it's like a chipmunk. It's like Chip and Dale hanging out doing drinks, right? Pretty sure they were gay. Pretty sure, but whatever. Okay, so we get this. There is some sneaky. If this is you, then let it be self-preservation. Covering my boundaries. Nobody needs to know what's going on, even though I'm a Leo, right? And I'm going to suspend myself from the external world a little bit, or at least in terms of groups, right? Groups of people. But I like it. I like it because there's a real opportunity for healing here, and really throat chakra feels the dominant. Because you can delay healing this, but you can't prevent it. And how many times you want to keep repeating it or coming back into this world just for this, when there's better onward and upward. Yeah. Okay. We're done with Tarot Town. Let's go to Oracle Land. Though technically Carol and Mace's archetype cards and the Matt Kahn Healing Mantra deck are not divination. They're healing systems. But as far as I'm concerned, they serve really well. I am an eclectic witch. I will beg, borrow, and steal truth and wisdom, magic, miracles, and mysticism wherever I find them, and that's where my gods send me to go find it. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon the Ascended Masters of Wisdom, which, wise person, gender neutral, and certainly it can be a member of the Wisdom family archetype, but depending upon the witch, could also be a member of the Divine family archetype, and maybe a foot in both. One card in clarity, please, for the Leo Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers. Watching this video, receiving this reading, the perfect healing mantra to help them bring this into alignment in this Timeless Chakra Read. Oh, opening my mind. I allow myself to see beyond my beliefs and ideas. There we go. There you go. There you go. You're going to open the mind and not deny what you're thinking, but understand that it may very well, oh my goodness, how much information comes in through your nervous system every second in terms of bytes. I know, B-Y-T-E-S. I used a technical word. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Right? Billions. You can't possibly be conscious of every bit of data sensory, right? What you hear, the subconscious mind takes what the conscious mind can't, right? So we draw all sorts of kind of conclusions as a result of that, particularly when memory kicks in, as it is supposed to. But certainly if this is fear, then there is lead in the system and pain that is calling to be healed. So let me read this for you. I allow myself, allow is the word. You don't need anybody's permission to allow yourself to see beyond your beliefs and ideas, hence opening the mind. We're looking at a third eye chakra there for sure. Where's my magnifying glass? There we go. Itty bitty teeny tiny little font and dramatic lighting. What do you want? Opening my mind, I allow myself to see beyond my beliefs and ideas. When your mind opens, you're no longer limited by fearful beliefs or at odds with your own healing journey. You don't have to be at odds with this stuff, even though you got the Hangman, the Tower, and the Trickster, the Coyote. But that Hangman might very well be that. Sort of like surrendering and sacrificing all of that tribal stuff to really see it from your own point of view and no longer be at odds with your journey. With an open mind, you are aware of a bigger cosmic picture. And I'm wondering if that's the choice in the Crown Chakra with that Two of Pentacles. Do I really want to see the big picture? Because we can't handle it all at once. We only get bits of it. Right? With an open mind, you are aware of a bigger cosmic picture where your personal life ushers in your highest potential by uplifting the consciousness of humanity. This is why we heal, not just for ourselves. There's only one energy field. It's a unified field. It's the Einstein and stuff. Holographic unity. As your mind opens, life is not just centered around your personal gains and losses. You do understand we're talking about Leos, right? But shining your light for the well-being of all. Yeah, we're talking about Leos. We do that. We shine our light for the well-being of all when we're in a good mood, wherever you happen to be. This mantra is ideal for ending the inner negotiation with ego, which looks a little something like this. Well, I know I gotta feel this to heal this, but how about if what if I just work harder and no, the gods will have their way. Unraveling self-sabotage, which is what the trickster is. Now look, come on. If you are unfamiliar with the coyote archetype, no you're not. Add a road runner. Doesn't matter how much he tried to sabotage, always bit him in the ass. Well, you know, those Acme products. You get what you pay for. I hope they get free shipping out in the desert, just saying. And confronting the inevitability of loss. Now that's interesting. Considering this Tower card might be as the result of some loss, as well as a sacrifice going on in the root chakra there in some way, shape, or form. So I allow myself, only you can do that, I allow myself to see beyond my beliefs and ideas, and the best part about that is nobody knows you're doing it if you don't tell them. That could be this. That could be that Seven of Swords. Sneaky, sneaky, peeky, peeky. Shall we? Let's remove some obstacles, shall we, darling? Darling, sweetie, darling, let me in. The Whispers of Lord Ganesh by Angelo Hartfield. I use her Whispers of Love Oracle for other reads. Lord Ganesh is the elephant-headed Hindu god of success and prosperity, but for some reason really known in yoga studios around the United States as the remover of obstacles. I know people who have Ganesh door knockers. I love him. He's wonderful, and it's an honor to connect to his vibe and get you an oracle here to help you remove those 3 obstacles. Please take a nice deep breath. Hashtag nose whistle, Mark. Still point. There you are. As I call upon the beloved Lord Ganesh, God of success, God of prosperity, remover of obstacles for humanity, please, 1 card in clarity for the Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers watching this video and receiving this reading. What is your guidance, your grace, your love, your wisdom, your power, your oracle message to remove the obstacles for the Leo collective and cross watchers in this Timeless Chakra Read? Delayed! Because groove is in the heart. Thank you, Miss Kier. That was my era, folks. Delight. Card number 3. It looks like he's having fun. Good. That's a happy Ganesh face. Why not? Great card. Card number 3, my lucky number. Well, it's magic number. De La Soul. Schoolhouse Rock. Please take a nice deep breath. Breathe in the Ganesh delight. Sounds like a dessert. With junk in the trunk. Card number 3, delight. We are born with the gift of laughter. Laughter is a natural medicine. I'm into this read. Laughter can be helpful in ways you might not have realized or imagined. A simple laugh can help you feel better about yourself and the world around you. If you are looking at situations too seriously, try to find some humor. This will remind you to stay centered on what is and to be grateful for what you have. And I think that might be what's going on here in the mind, that the shadow, the unfinished, everybody's got unfinished stuff again except the Dalai Lama, because he's the Dalai Lama, who knows? I'm not judgy like that. Nam-myoho Renge-kyo. But certainly that could be that these thoughts are not really about what's going on in the present moment. So sacrificing your way of looking at things just in the physical world, which includes your body, if that's part of it too, to get to have some sense of humor, because your higher self don't see it that way. Once you hit that 5th dimensional, 8th chakra vibe, things on this planet start looking ridiculous, but in a very compassionate, loving way. Not that derisive, destructive humor, but that thing of, oh my goodness, there's only one of us here. This is a video game. Oh wow, did we overcomplicate this? That's why all of the spiritual truths that are worthy of real absorption are simple, but they usually, truth will piss you off, right? Thank you. The truth will set you free, but it'll probably piss you off first. Gloria Steinem. Laughter can be a natural diversion and can help break up stagnant energy. When you laugh, no other thoughts come to mind. Oh, and what a compassionate choice with that 6 of Cups in the throat to find the funny. Really? All right, Carrie. Carrie Fisher says in her book, Wishful Drinking, it was also in her stage show, that in life something tragic happens, and it's horrible. And then time goes by, sometimes years, sometimes decades, and then you look back and you see the funny. Location, 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 right? So there might be some of that in here for you as well. When you laugh, no other thoughts come to mind. Laughing may also induce physical changes in the body. After sharing some laughs amongst friends for only a few minutes, you may feel better for hours. This is very put a Patch Adams on that. Laughter and humor can give you such amazing energy. A good, hearty belly rumble can dispel stale, negative energy and enable you to see from a higher perspective. I think this is about a Leo coming into balance between something that might have been very, very serious and very, very scary, and to actually sacrificing their way of seeing it, because they might have something that they learned from the world about what they're going through that is not wholly accurate. It's not the whole story. It's not the whole picture. Laughter and humor can give you such an amazing energy. Sorry, I read that part. If you want more pep, like the boys, and humor in your life, work with Ganesha, asking him to support you in finding joy in new ways. There are actually some stories that tell that Ganesha was born from Shiva's laughter. Well, that is a remover of obstacles. That makes sense. Ask Ganesha to help you lighten up through laughter. By doing so, you may receive some immeasurable benefits. By having a more lighthearted approach to all things that come your way, you might even feel healthier. Laughter really is the best medicine, and that is the axiom, the cliche, but most cliches tend to be true. But not the derisive laughter, not the, look, I have you can have an archetype, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Mine comes and goes for reasons like April Fool's Day. I have done some amazing Facebook posts on April Fool's Day to announcing my marriage, right? People get so caught up, they don't know what day it is, or they forgot. I've done it a bunch of times. I don't do it that much anymore. But that's different. That's like, that's the trickster, more on the light side, transcending stuffy behavior and being unpredictable in a fun way, in a laughter way. But I also am going to say, if that is the case, that this is about laughter, then it's really about how you see this in the third eye. And will you allow yourself to see beyond your beliefs and ideas about this situation? And no one can make you do that but you. Only you can make those compassionate Six of Cups, harmonious element of water, throat chakra choices. Okay, one left. The Chakra Reading, cards by Rachel Sharman, Rockpool Publishing, just to kind of give you an indication of where to sort of begin, or a little highlight, like look at this chakra a bit more. Though we are dealing with the 8 chakra system, this one does 9 chakras with the Earth Star, which is under the ground, but still part of your energy field. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Last card down as I call to the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. What is the perfect healing card? The healing message, the chakra card, the chakra energy, the perfect chakra energy reading for the Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers watching this video, receiving this reading, to help them begin, right? To help them tune to, give them some clarity, some kindness, some information, some healing, but also give them an indication of might be a good idea to look here. So what do you got for them higher selves of for all involved in this? Oh, cat hair in my nose. Kitty cats. In this timeless Leo read. Divine wisdom. Divine wisdom. A witch with divine wisdom. A witch opens the mind with delight to divine wisdom. I don't know if that's the title, but it could be. It's different when you're sitting on the laptop and trying to fit it into 100 characters. Sweetheart, I do my best. And that's why I keep my sense of humor. Look, I have 4 essential skills. I'm fun. I have cool hair. I know what I'm talking about. And the gods put the right cards in my hand. But I don't think they would do all of that unless I was the fun one. Because, if you're going to hire somebody and you want them to do the job the way you want them to do, you want someone who knows that they don't know and can take things lightly. Trust me. Ready? Divine wisdom. You get an affirmation with this one. How exciting. Please take a nice deep breath. Divine Wisdom, card number 36, the Soul Star Chakra, which is the 8th chakra. So the witch's Divine Wisdom. If that's not a double whammy, that's double whammy adjacent. You have the divine wisdom of the universe available to you at all times. Yeah, it's hovering over your head like it's like the satellite of love. Oh, Joel. As you may know, you are deeply connected to and an expression of the divine light of the universe. Yeah, because it's E that equals MC squared. We're E equals MC squared, except that bitch around the corner. No, it doesn't work like that. We're all one. We're all that divine light. This divine light has within it all the powerful knowledge and wisdom of the cosmos. This light is all-knowing, wise, and all-loving, intelligent light. Light equals truth in symbolic circles, particularly in alchemy. You are made up of this wisdom, and that it runs through your blood. You can access it at will. If you have been searching for answers and guidance from sources outside yourself, are you rejecting tribal dictates and sacrificing the way your groups and tribes and people in general think about things and opening your mind? Allowing yourself to? Trust the calling. It is time to tune in, connect, and become aware of the divine wisdom that lies within you. Trust the calling to deepen and awaken this aspect of yourself as you start to also trust the wisdom that comes to you. All right, this could also be somebody being hit with a bolt of divine truth in the solar plexus. The divine, the gods, the masters, whatever, the angels, right? Saying, ha! Boof, in order to move you forward. Could totally be that, right? Destroying some ego thing. Like I'm not good enough, or I'll never say never to the gods. They don't like it. Not because they created us. They know better. It's time to tune in, connect to, and become aware of divine wisdom that lies within. Trust the calling to deepen and awaken this aspect of yourself. As you start, all trust the wisdom that comes to you. Take a moment in a quiet place. Ask your questions and listen to the voice inside your heart offering you the answers and singing the song of divine wisdom. Nice beat. You can dance to it. The answers lie within the chambers of your own heart. So isn't that interesting? That you're making the prayer very, very 8th chakra, but the answers you receive down here in the goddess, the divine feminine heart, because this is the God, the mind, the divine father, and the child is the one that makes the choice, right? So interesting. Sometimes it can be challenging bypassing those crazy thoughts in your head in order to get to your heart. That's why those choices of compassion are the bridge between the third eye and the heart is the 3rd chakra. However, once you get that feeling in your body that everything is just right, you will know you are there. Then it is a master of trusting the process. And as it grows stronger, use it just like a muscle. It's your time to flex your heart and listen to the divine wisdom it has to offer. And that takes courage, which is the Leo gig. Beginning, middle, and end. It pulsates through every cell of your being, ready and waiting for you to awaken to its calling. And your affirmation. I am aligned to the divine wisdom of the universe, and it flows through me in abundance. Little Tim Curry for you there, a little side of Tim Curry, maybe some Edith Piaf on the side. So, look, this makes sense. You got the witch double whammy there with witch and wisdom. Yes, you might have been struck by a truth in the solar plexus that challenges everything you thought about this world and is changing your boundaries and your honor code big time. But it seems the internal process, regardless of what's going on the outside, who you're dealing with, what this is about you really making more compassionate choices. But to do it, 8th chakra, start with your wisdom. What have you learned? And get that you have the opportunity, if you so allow yourself, to see beyond your beliefs and ideas, because there might be a lightning bolt of truth. If light equals truth, then lightning is truthing. Oh, all right, sure. When I teach tarot, and I will again, I just want an actual group of people in a room with like a dry erase board to do it. Thank you very much. I teach the Tower card. as very much somebody who doesn't believe in spirits and ghosts and all the paranormal bullshit. It's bullshit, you're all making it up. And then one morning before they wake up, their great-grandmother is standing at the foot of the bed going, us do not. Opens her eyes, she's still there, and then she disappears. All of that disbelief, poof, gone in a second, right? Things we can believe our entire lives, no longer true. And again, perception is not reality. The sun does not rise in the east and set in the west. If the planet turns on an axis, and ours does, right? But it looks that way. So it's okay to believe that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west until you kind of snap out of it and you go, oh, that's an optical illusion. Be allowing to see beyond your beliefs, ideas, and conclusions. No, it always rises in the east and sets in the west. Okay. Contrary to fact, but you do you. So lots of choices here for you, and I think very creative ones. But just give yourself the learning curve of the heart. You'll get there. And if there is someone who can act as a healer, a teacher, a guide, this is a maiden teaching, a crone teaching a maiden how to weave a blanket, and she's got one in the background. She's been doing it since a crone taught her how to do it, right, when she was younger. So there is a learning curve here. There is a learning process. Be gentle for yourself. But I think the highlight of this is if you can get up into that 8th chakra, that's soul star chakra with that divine wisdom, you will have a good laugh and it will heal, because that's what it does. The higher self really has a good time with us. We don't always have such a good time with it, though, because we want what we want, not what we need, unless it happens to be both. So all the cards on the table, I'm going to do a bless summation. It's a combination of a blessing and a summation, and at the end of that the reading is over, but I usually hang out for the last couple of minutes to release the energy of all these people I'm reading for on planet Earth, yeah, watch what comes out of my mouth. Please take a nice deep breath. Watch this space. Still point. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine. For the Leo collective sun, moon, rising, Venus signs and cross watchers watching this video, receiving this reading, may they be blessed with all that they need to alchemize the witch from a hex to blessing, right? From harm to healing, from woe to weal and wellness. May they be blessed with that golden wisdom within them so that they can find that balance in the crown chakra and take it little by little by little in the choices that they make, because if they can acknowledge that they may not be seeing things correctly, or at least are seeing through a lens darkly because of dust from the past, smudges on the lens from things that have not been dealt with, and then make those compassionate choices first for themselves and then for others little by little, understanding that the heart is learning and the heart is growing, and the 8 of Pentacles is a nice solid foundation. Next would be the 9, which would be having all of the wisdom that they need inside of them just to feel good, and then the 10, that wealth of wisdom that leads its way to happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise ways, because something is hitting them in the solar plexus there, and it could be an earth shaker. It could be real foundational, right? Like somehow, I mean, I don't want to go so far as Santa Claus and stuff like that. 'Tis the season. But we can believe a lot of things that are real. But Santa Claus ain't as harmful as I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, and gosh darn it, people hate me, right? That might totally not be true, and yet may appear to be through the stories being told. So maybe something comes in and shatters some illusions here that need to be shattered, and they don't have to talk about it right away. Or maybe this comes through a stealthy message, a stealthy communication element of air, one-on-one relationship, or just simply that they may be pulling back into the shadows, not necessarily, well, to do the shadow work, what we do in the shadows, creepy paper, but maybe being a little stealth, maybe keeping their self-preservation while they go through this, not talking about this so much, but also maybe gathering information, scoping and probing, so that in the physical world they can surrender this, they can sacrifice this, they can take a break, go within, and what? Open their mind, because only they can allow themselves to see beyond their beliefs and ideas, and there is always a higher truth. There is always a higher truth, so even the masters in this world, when they croak, have to reevaluate, and they can do that and simultaneous with laughter, because sometimes it's just ridiculous, the things that we believe. that have no basis in foundation, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and still, it's just how, it's just what humanity does. And it can be rip-roaring laughter, particularly if we can, all of us, tune to that divine wisdom, like working so hard and struggling and martyring and creating and uphill battles, Sisyphus rolling that rock up the hill, having to roll the fuck back down over you at the end of the day to start over the next day, to then one day awaken. Something happens in our personal lives and it all makes sense. It was all in order for us to be who we were born to become in this life. It couldn't have happened any other way. And so it is in a journey, and so it is in a lifetime. But they have the ability to laugh and not just be delighted themselves, but to be delight itself incarnate with that divine wisdom, with the power of the golden witch, making magic, miracles, and mysticism manifest all around them for the well-being of all, and with harm to none. As we will it, so let it be done. So motivate. So it is. I liked it. Simple, tricky. Simple, need not imply easy. So if you liked it, please like it. Help the other Leos and cross-watchers find it. That's what the algorithm's for, apparently. Just don't make me do math. And if you want more of me here on YouTube, subscribe and hit the notification bell, because I do these. These are being scheduled, because I had a busy week ahead of me with the holidays and all of that coming at the time of this timeless recording. Clients, right? But also over on Patreon. I got a lot prepared for Patreon in this holiday. Actually doing this at almost the very end of November 2022. Got a lot of good stuff coming in December. Just added 2 new tiers. I got Seeker and Mystic on there now. Click the link if you want more. And if you want to book me for a private reading, there is a link in the description box. Booking a reading with Mel. I'll explain everything you ever wanted to know about booking a reading with Mel. But perhaps we're afraid to ask. But then again, Leos, when has that ever happened? I love you. Hang in there. Have at it. Do the healing and laugh, Leo. Laugh. Hell. Farewell.